Hello, everybody. Welcome to my weird, wonderful world. Now, I had made a video about a year and a half ago. It was July 7th of last year, like 2023. That's basically talked about the moralities that I learned from Tool. I didn't want to, and it took me a while to actually figure out what title to make this video because I didn't want to, because this, I don't want you thinking that I'm being preachy because it's not me preaching to you at all. This is the way I feel about it, and I'm just wanting to express my perspective on what I get from Tool and how it makes me feel and how it has guided me through life to being a better person. I mean, it's not just from that quote that I heard Maynard say at the end of that first live venue that I ever went to see up in Montreal. I saw the Lateralis tour, and at the end of that show, he said to the crowd, right at the very end, he goes to the crowd and says, "I want you to take all the positive emotions you've taken from this tonight, go out into the global community and make a positive difference." Of course, that blew my mind and was reflecting everything I had been feeling and thinking at the time. But right from the beginning, and I'm not going to go through every album. I have them all here anyway, but I'm not going to go through every album or every lyric, just the highlights of where it began and why I take my morality from Tool most importantly. I mean, of course, it's kind of all started with Star Trek and the philosophies and the ideas and the moralities I was learning from that and just expounded on that. Now, of course, I was a Kiss fan first and foremost at the beginning in my adolescence. Then in my teens, I was a Metallica fan, and there were some messages in there, but not until I heard Tool for the first time. And of course, it all started with the EP Opiate. And what really struck me was first of all the video Hush, because being a heavy metal fan, I never understood the PMRC and their whole idea of censorship and that we should have free expression to express whatever we want as long as it's not harming other people. And heavy metal and that was not harming people. It wasn't twisting our minds and making us, you know, devil worshippers and stupid stuff like that. Not at all. It was just like you never took it seriously. For me, when they're talking about some of that negative stuff, is no different than watching a horror movie. You don't take it as reality. It's a fantasy world, and I never saw it more than that. It never stopped me from being trying to be a moral person, of being an honest and good person, being decent with other people. But Tool, for me, emphasized that even more. So with the song "Hush," they were talking about censorship and that I can't say what I want to, even if I'm not serious. And of course he uses a lot of bad words and calls people out and if you don't know the song, you should listen to it, but don't go in it thinking that he's you know, being negative about it. He's just questioning what's with all this censorship. Why can't I express myself, good or bad, regardless of what it is, in the name of art? It was in the name of art. And I mean, it still kind of goes today of people being so offended by certain things. Like comedians are so restricted about what they can say and how can. That's why I love Bill Burr because right now he's probably up there as one of the most offensive comics out there, and he's not caring so much about what people think. It's art, it's comedy, it's not meant to be taken seriously, but it's a social commentary on what the world is, and it's just another way of looking at it. So that's how I kind of got that. Now you get to the song Opiate, and people are probably thinking, oh well, he's anti-God, he's anti this, he's anti-religion and that. What the song is referring to is those who use religion to control and manipulate others. As in the sentence, opiate is the religion is the opiate of the masses. And I never confused that. I never thought of it as against the church. And no, it's only against those who chooses to use it to manipulate people and for their own greedy agendas. That's the the song "Jerk Off" here is about people who are sovereign citizens who are above reproach, who can do bad things to other people, and they don't get any repercussions for it. That's what that song is about, and so on and so forth. So for me, I always saw it as a positive message that was disguised as something maybe a little negative in the stuffy people's eyes. If you're a stuffy bureaucrat who's just all about rules and regulations and not really concern yourself with humanity and what the human condition is, then this is not for you. If you're one of those stuffy people. And I do this is because that represents the tie, the noose around your neck that is there to choke you. Now, I don't want to make this too long of a video, but I do want to get to certain points. Now, when this album came out of Undertow, right from the beginning song of Intolerance, is basically talking about how we tolerate and let slip by those people who lie, cheat, and steal. And I thought, oh, yes, those are the three evils of the world. Whatever else is out there, those are the three things that you don't do to other people. If you want to treat people with consideration, dignity, and respect, you do not lie, cheat, and steal. And I made it my mission in my life not to be like that, not to lie, cheat, and steal. So I don't lie, I don't cheat, and I don't steal. That is just, that's just wrong. That's the most wrong and the most evil you can be is when you do that. When you're stealing, like I consider even killing somebody, stealing somebody's, essence, stealing somebody's life that they no longer have the chance to live out a normal life because you stole something from them. You stole their future. And so, so yeah, that became a big message of philosophy in my life too. Songs like "Sober" is basically not. It's not about alcohol or drugs or anything. I think the song "Sober" is about waking up, like sobering yourself up to the realities of the world and seeing the world for what it is instead of what you believe it to be. To really waking up and saying, "Whoa, this is how do we live this way? How are we able?" It, Tool teaches me so much morality and like there's a line in 4 degrees, and I know what that refers to, but the line is that there is a treasure inside you that needs to be dug up, to find the goodness and the beauty in you that others seem to put a negative spin on. That you're much better than you think you are, and that you need to find the buried treasure that's buried in that cavern. Is a cavern of treasures that needs to be dug up, and there's so much meaning in those lyrics. I mean, I'm going to kind of skip this one here. There's good meaningful stuff in here too, but I'm going to skip that one because I want to before this gets too long. I want to get into some more important ones, especially this album. This album in its entirety is all about finding your spirituality, finding that which is essential to being one with humanity, especially in the especially with the like it starts off with the grudge telling you not to be vengeful, that forgiveness, being forgiving is the highest gift that not to you give to other people but to give to yourself, because it frees you from all this negative emotions that you're carrying. The person that you're grudging upon, they're going about their lives completely oblivious to what they're making, basically when you're holding a grudge, the other person has affected you in a way that it turns your emotions against yourself, that you're feeling a hatred and you're feeling this anger towards something that the other person, you know and then and when you take those actions to put a vengeance on somebody else, yeah, two wrongs don't make a right. You're just exacerbating the hatred and the yeah, the hate. It is wrong. And then, the patient. I always thought that song was, about learning how to be patient. That, to wait it out. That things will be better in the end. That there's always a light at the end of that tunnel. There's always a silver lining to that gray cloud. But especially when parable and parabola, well, schism, talking about communication, talking about why it's good to communicate between each other, to learn each other's what each other's person is thinking and why they feel and think the way they do. That it's the cold silence has a tendency to atrophy any sense of compassion. And those are strong lyrics from that from Schism. And then there's Parable and Parabola. And again, that's about being at one with yourself and humanity and finding the peace of mind in the silence of the now, and being, turning off your brain and just accepting things for what they are. You know, a chance to be alive and breathing. It's because life here on this planet is a miracle, and it should be celebrated. It should be celebrated in every chance you get. That's why, for me, my most important day for myself personally is my birthday, because that was, that celebrates the day I was, first alive and breathing, and celebrate that. Then there's ticks and leeches, which is basically saying, look, if you choose to be a person that's going to that's that wants to latch on to somebody else's energy and suck them down and drag them down and make them a lower person, I hope you choke on that. I hope that, you sucking their energy, sucking their blood, sucking whatever you do from that I hope it comes back to bite you in the butt. This is why this is such a great album for me. And of course you get the title track of Lateralis, which is all about opening your mind to other possibilities and not just being stuck in that rut of just I believe this, and to the exclusion of all other possibilities. My way is right and no other way is right, and this is what I believe, this is what I do. No, you have to stay open to other possibilities. So, and then that just gets expounded with disposition and reflection and so on and so forth. So the lessons for me from Tool is just that is to be a better person, that you are more than the sum of what, of your parts. You have the potential to be something great, a force to be reckoned with, a force for good, a force for peace. And that's why I try to always promote peace, love, and understanding in this world as much as I possibly can, and why music is my favorite form of art and of all time, because it's the for me it's the most expressive. And even if it's talking about some negative things here, that's the way the artist felt when they made that art. So you can't disparage that whatsoever. And then you come to this album of 10,000 Days, and the first song, Vicarious, is basically about how we're a little bit too comfortable with seeing violence on TV. That violence is so acceptable, and I'm part of that. I love violent movies. I do like some of the gore that I become so anesthetized, and what's the word I'm looking for? Like it doesn't bother me anymore. I become hardened to it, a little numb to it. So it doesn't, and I remember a time when certain things would gross me out, and I would like, but now nothing's, grosses me out anymore. I've become so like, you see decapitations on primetime TV. I've seen, people losing their heads completely on primetime TV. Look at Game of Thrones. You know how violent that is. Especially when the Mountain, you know, uh, kind of pummeled in Pedro Pascal's face in that one scene. Like that is gory and as disturbing as you can get. But I didn't flinch. I thought that I actually thought it was cool. Yeah, so it just kind of points out that, yeah, we're a little bit too comfortable with violence, and don't deny it. Don't deny it, because we love to watch things die from a distance. As long as it's not affecting us, as long as we're not a part of it, yeah, it's okay. We can watch all the nastiness out in the world, and we're safe behind, in our rooms or in our living rooms and watching it on TV. I mean, they're more or less talking about the 6 o'clock evening news or the 11 o'clock news or whatever. Yeah, and of course, we get to. Oh, did I miss something? Yeah, yeah, and again with the one of the last songs on here, right into of how we're we're squandering our potential. Again, talking about how much we squander our potential, that we have this ability, as long as if we're able to unlock it from ourselves, to open it up to other possibilities, we can unlock a potential to do great things. So we're hitting the almost 20-minute mark. I'm going to wrap this up soon. But even this album here, Fear Inoculum, and inoculum meaning to give yourself an inoculation against fear, to not be afraid, to actually challenge those who are attempting to control and manipulate you and cause terrible things in the world, and not be afraid and to stand up. Because the next song after, is it Numa? Yeah, I think it's Numa, the next song is right after. So the first song is Fear Inoculum. Yeah, and then the next song after that is Numa. And the Numa, of course, again is like with Parable and Parabola. It's talking about how we are one. We are all the same breath. We living on this world together. Why can't we get along? Why can't we rejoin with the human condition rather than being a cog in the wheel? A cog in the machine. Like, yeah. I know it sounds like I'm rambling a little bit, but why this is my favorite band of all time is for all those reasons. Because for me, I get a deep sense of morality from it. I get a deep sense of peace of mind. For me, it gives me peace of mind it reminds me that you and everybody have the potential to be the best us that we can. Humanity can it doesn't have to be we don't have to be like we are. We could be so much better than we are. And it reminds me to be a better person as much and as often as I can. It's not always easy. We like to refer to our basic instincts and everything, but yeah, it's something we need to ponder upon, and give yourself a break. Give yourself, yeah, that's all I'm going to say about this one. I just wanted to kind of reiterate everything that I said, as tried to say about a year and a half ago when I tried to talk about the subject before. But anyway, I love you guys out there. I love everybody. Look at that. I'm one away from 400. Again, I'm not going to be doing any contest for that, but I'm going to try. Once I hit 400, a little over 400, I'm going to try to do a special video or something to celebrate that, to try to acknowledge everybody who is awesome and everything. And yeah, that's it for this one. Please, if you're watching it for the first time, consider subscribing because I will greatly appreciate and love you forever. Comment because I do the best I can to try to comment back whenever possible. Don't be afraid of the like button. And as always, just please be safe. Take care. I will see you on the flip side. And please, everybody, have a great day, evening, morning, night, afternoon, wherever you may be. Peace, everybody.